Hey, and welcome to the Lazy BardCast. I'm David Williams. I'll be your DM for the... Hi! Hi, and welcome to the Lazy Bard. It's the hardest cut. This is such a mess, Josh. Hi, and welcome to the Lazy BardCast. Hi, and welcome to the Lazy BardCast. I'm David Williams. I'll be your DM for the foreseeing future as we finally start our Dungeon of the Wacky Wizard campaign based on the officially published Dungeon of the Mad Mage. Without further ado, we'll get right into it, introducing our characters.
I'm Josh Yarnell. I'm playing Orion Goodbarrel, a halfling bard.
My name is Kyle Paquin. I'm playing Talgroff, the dwarf paladin.
My name is Korvac. I am a mesmer and probably the strongest one here. Maybe. I'm Kyle.
And you're playing Kyle.
And I'm playing Kyle Dell.
My name's Sean Luke. I'm playing Maven the Monolith Smolderbeard.
Talgroff, we're going to introduce your character first here. A split sect of Clan Battlehammer of Mithril Hall. The Silver Flame clan resides within the Sword Mountains, just a few days' journey north from the City of Splendor's Waterdeep. Talgroff has been sent on a mission to recover an artifact stolen by a dragonborn sorceress who has become a figure of notoriety within the Silver Flame clan. Utilizing a fabled book...
I tried so hard to get that out through the truck. I tried so hard, guys.
There's one bleep sound.
Okay, please continue.
Utilizing a fabled book, the Tome of Hungering Visage, Valega was somehow able to access and steal Dworic, the Dwarven king at the time's, shield of Farangul. The shield's legend has grown over the years, and now members of the Silver Flame speak of it as an ancient artifact capable of deeds as great as granting invincibility to its wearer. You, Talgroff, see it for what it is, a symbol of hope and strength for your people, and perhaps as equally important, a symbol of opposition and power to those who still pledge fealty to Valega. Recently, your clan was tipped off by a captor bearing Valega's symbol, that of a hand with deteriorating flesh across its fingertips. After intense interrogations, you were able to subdue the information you seek. Valega fled to Waterdeep to take the shield deep within Undermountain, beneath the Yawning Portal. The proprietor there, a man named Durnan, holds ties to the Silver Flame, and as such, owes a favor to Shield Flame's chosen few warriors. So you gathered your things? Well, what exactly would you be looking for to go on a journey, Talgroff? What does Talgroff travel with?
Talgroff, he travels alone. This is his quest alone. He travels with his simple chainmail armor, his battle axe that was made by his father. He also travels with his burden, which is this long quest that, even though it's taken him back closer to his home, he's been all over the continent looking for signs of the shield.
Perfect. Yeah. You gather your things, gather your mind, and say a farewell to your people for the time being, and hopefully bring back that shield and bring back honor to your tribe, restore that honor that was lost. You make the few days' journey to Waterdeep. It's not a necessarily treacherous or difficult journey, especially for someone who's traveled as yourself. And arriving in the City of Splendor, you see the sprawling city before you. You see familiar streets, a place you've been before in search of the shield, just not knowing exactly the right place to get to. You make your way through, I assume, headstrong in your goal here, not really wavering from that path, heading straight to the Yawning Portal. And you get to the door, and we're going to introduce the next character before we go inside. Orion Goodbarrel. The Goodbarrels are best known throughout Waterdeep for their music and carrying patronage at the halfway house. Being rather successful, Orion's family are the main attractions here. Each member plays different musical instruments, and I've learned how to capture the attention of traveling adventurers and regular customers alike. Orion's father, Leo, is the lyric composer of the family. He tells epic tales of fighting dragons, delving deep into the Underdark, and exploring new lands. In all reality, he grew up a city boy, but being the sly man he is and talented wordsmith, Leo's been able to provide for his family and set up future generations for great success. In all your life, Orion, Leo has spoken frankly to you of the ways of the world, never in an aggressive manner or with a sour tone, but frankly, teaching you things your other siblings don't know, from magic to the art of persuasion, and even accepting and pushing your talent forward in more deviant arts. Pickpocketing rude drunks who regularly forget to tip, and occasionally taking you out of earshot of your mother, Rose, to speak of your future. Your mother's a loving woman, as passionate about her family as she is her singing, and job as hostess to the halfway house. She seems keen on interrupting these asides your father attempts to have with you, on rare occasion openly scolding him for doing so. He speaks of fortune to be made, places to discover, tales to be told, of the fantastical and the eccentric, and it keeps you up at night, dreaming of what you could be, of the stories you could tell. Tonight, as you're lying in bed, you hear your door creak open, and you see your father, Leo, leaning into your bedroom and, shh, Orion.
Father?
I don't want to wake your mother. Can I come in?
Yeah.
He pushes open the door and makes his way into your room. He seems jovial, excited about something. I have a surprise for you, Orion.
This late?
Please don't tell your mother or your siblings. And from behind his back, he reaches his hands forward, and you see in his hands he holds a lute. He holds a lute that is ancient in its appearance. It's definitely passed down heirloom of sorts. While it's weathered and worn, well used, it's been taken care of for the entirety of its life. Your grandfather, he held the same talents you do, Orion. I think it's time that I pass this on to you. And he holds it out for you to take.
Oh, wow, Father. Can I try it?
Maybe just quietly.
Oh, it sounds great.
Okay, yeah, you make a few strums. And holding the lute, you can see that it has a number of musical notes engraved across the front of it that spiral up the neck. But your knowledge of music, you look at it and they look... none of the melodies appear to make exact sense in your mind. They seem dissonant, discordant, but beautifully engraved. I have another surprise for you, Orion. And he holds out a note to you. It's an envelope with a symbol of the Harpers, a guild that you've heard of in town in Waterdeep. They're generally charlatans, musical types. Your father's never talked of being tied to this group by any means, but he's talked to you about them as far as their existence in Waterdeep and the surrounding area. Don't read it, but if you could deliver this note, you know the man Durnan at the Yawning Portal, he's been enjoying your occasional stopping by when you play some music there. He says it draws in some crowds. I just need you to deliver this to him and get your things. You see a big smile spreads across your father's face, and you're going on a journey, Orion.
Finally? You mean it?
Shh, quiet.
Okay.
I'll take the heat from your mother.
Okay.
Okay, but just get your things together. Get your things.
Tonight or
tonight?
Oh, wow.
Right now.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
I'll be waiting outside so I can say goodbye for the time being until you return.
Okay. I'll give him a super big hug.
Yeah, he gives you a hug back, and then he leaves your room, shuts the door behind you, and you hear his retreating footsteps head down the hallway.
I'm going on an adventure. Bilbo Baggins down the stairs, out the door.
Okay.
After I get my things. In my little closet area, I have a go bag ready for an adventure, just in case. Just in case one ever presented itself to me.
Perfect. So you head outside and you see your father Leo standing, waiting for you to come out. And Orion, I know the stories we tell, the stories we sing of, they're fantastic, and they speak of growing a legend and becoming something. Remember how I've explained life to you, explained how things really work. There's going to be a lot of suffering and pain before you get there. Are you ready for that?
I'm ready, Father. I know what I can do. This is going to be flippin' awesome.
Well, bring the note to Durnan at the Yawning Portal. Be sure that only he reads it. Don't open it before you get there. And he'll see to it that your journey starts.
Okay. I won't look at it, I swear. Good
luck, Orion. He gives you kind of a side hug.
Thanks, Dad. I'll see you soon.
Yeah. I hope so. And you go...
Jesus Christ. What sort of father is this?
Such a sitcom dad.
A what?
Sitcom dad.
Sitcom family. Yeah, so you go jovially skipping down the road.
I'm going on an adventure.
This 15-year-old skipping down Waterdeep Street in the middle of the night, skipping by drunks that are passed out on the side of the road. And,
I'm trying to sleep.
Very Peter Pan of you. And but you make your way to the Yawning Portal. We'll get to our next. Maven, okay. Over the past few months, Maven has grown more than he'd previously thought possible. He's lost friends and gained allies, traveled far to the west to Gunderloon under the orders of the Lord's Alliance, a military naval presence along the Sword Coast, and on a beach of the Isles discovered an Illithid Nautiloid ship. The ship disappeared and left only questions that have yet to be answered. Leaving Gunderloon, Maven became an accomplice to murder. His ship captain and friend, Korvac, killed another crew member by the name of Click under a guise of necessity. Whether truthful or otherwise, Maven is loyal to his crew, especially his captain, and stands by him to this day. On his journey to the mainland, Maven was able to contact his long-lost brother through means of new powers granted to him. He learned that his brother was being held captive by Illithid beings, and that contacting him was incredibly dangerous. On this long trip to Waterdeep, Maven threw away ties to his god, this deep Sashales that Maven found weaker than his liking, that bowed to the Illithid. Upon arriving in Waterdeep, you reported to the Open Lord Lady, Laryl Silverhand. You told her of imminent Sawajin attack, and she prepared as best she could. When the attack came, you were ready. Running from your cabin, you dove into the water to fend off the pirates. As they swarmed from the ship that broke through the waves from the depths, you saw a party split off under the waves in the direction of an underwater temple. Cutting them off, you single-handedly took out a large party of nearly 20 Sawajin raiders, and Cord answered. He reached out his hand for the first time. A large ebony pillar burst from the seafloor and shattered through the waves above. Higher and higher it grew until it broke the clouds. Maven grabbed onto the ropes hanging off the sides and climbed his way to the top, gaining the favor of Cord. Laryl gave you and Korvac an immense award, not only a trove of gold, but a ship and a crew to top it off. She's requested your presence at a local tavern by the name of the Yawning Portal, instructing you that she has a lead on who may be behind the attack and where they may now reside. So, Maven, after the attack, you bunk down in your new ship, surrounded by your new crewmates, and you get ready for a night's rest. What's your mind resting on at this point after this long battle?
Envisioning what the future will be like and just visualizes a world that's rid of pirates and a safer realm.
You find easy rest tonight after that long attack. You find yourself sleeping soundly. No dreams from Cord like the deep Sashales had given you so many of. Cord so far seems like the strong silent type, something Maven probably appreciates. But you awake, and looking to the side of your bunk, you see that where you left your warhammer for the evening, there is a pile of ash.
Don't matter. I just need my hands anyways.
You stand up, and you go to put your feet down on the ground next to your bunk, and you feel your right foot clang onto something. It feels heavy. Kind of glancing under, you see a long, burnished silver blade that comes down to a chunky black handle, like black leather wrapped handle. Looking along the guard for the sword, looking along the guard for the sword, you see an engraving that says, "Through great strength we grow." So you can add the Spawn of Kelmar to your weapon list.
Whoa, what a name.
This might work better than my hands.
And as you look down at your hands, you see a crackling lightning spreading between them as you feel Cord has also gifted you with the ability to cast Lightning Bolt as a cleric. Ooh. This is power beyond anything Deep Sashales had showed you, beyond swimming with some dolphins, and you should be a dolphin and protect people from sharks. Was about the best guidance the Deep Sashales had ever given you, and already you feel stronger. So you make your way to the Yawning Portal? Yeah. You walk through the streets, and you can see that there's a face of recognition on many of the soldiers' faces. Civilians, people that you helped fend off this pirate incursion from. Last and least, Korvac. I mean, but not least.
The strongest member here, they're probably all cheering for me.
No, definitely.
You must have killed 25 people in your drive-by.
It was probably 26 if we're being honest. No, 25. You got to think higher, man.
So Korvac is a new captain of the seas. Gaining the title only a month ago, Korvac traveled with a group of adventurers to Gunderlund. There, his mesmer gifts thrived. He learned to create perfect duplicates of himself, to confuse foes and wield a greatsword with unmatched finesse. More concerning, or maybe more impressively, he grew in the ranks of the Zentarum. You, Korvac, have recently been bestowed the rank of Assassin, a rank you did not strive for. You killed someone you once called friend, Click, in the name of the Black Network. After becoming captain aboard the voyage by vote, you were delivered a large box. Within was a coffin with Click's name and a note loosely descripting ranking members of the Zentarum. You completed the job somewhat reluctantly, and ended up discovering a confidant in Maven, a trusted ally who helped in the disposal of Click's corpse. Throwing it overboard and into the depths, you sealed your fate. Upon arrival to Waterdeep, you helped fend off the Sawajin pirate incursion, and came into possession of a new ship and new crew in the process. Kind of.
I almost died.
Lady Laryl thanked you profusely, and is now requesting one more favor. That you meet her at the Yawning Portal tonight, and further reward will be arranged. Though this piques your interest, you know you have further business in the city to take care of. Timora's Blessing, a gambling house known by charlatans and thieves to be a contact point for members of the notorious guild, the Zentarum. The battle against the pirates has just ended, Korvac. The Sawajin incursion at least fought off for the time being. Though wounded, you feel strong enough that you could head there, or you could head there first light tomorrow.
Oh, I'll head over there now. I'm pretty sure Smee can handle the ship, or Tathir can handle the ship, or Smee could probably handle the ship. One of those three.
You can have some inspiration, Kyle. Or remembering names I couldn't.
Yeah, I wrote those two specific ones down.
Those are the two I was trying to remember. I remembered Carlos, but I couldn't remember what you named him. Carlos, Smee, and Tathir.
Smee!
Yes, Captain. You see a
Still like the sound of that.
You see a kind of a plump, brown-skinned man come forward. He's already proven himself in the one day you've been here as someone able to figure out how to get the ship reinforced as well as how much it would cost. And he comes running up, hustling as hard as he can.
I like you, Smee.
I like you too, Captain.
Thank you. I have got some business to attend to. So you're in charge for now, temporarily. It's still my ship. I'm still the captain. I still got my hat.
I'm temporary captain?
No, that's not what I said. I said you're in charge for now, and I have to leave my ship.
Oh, thank the nine.
You are not the captain. You are Smee.
I couldn't be a captain.
I know.
Looking at him, he kind of straightens his vest that he has no shirt underneath on. It's just like a typical sailor's vest just over the top of his chest.
So I've got some business to attend to. No one comes in my quarters, because it's my quarters. But,
batten down the hatches! And he starts running around the deck like way overboard.
like this guy, he's got a bit of pep in his step. So as he's like walking away, I got some bit. You got it, okay. I'll start heading over to the
Timora's?
Yeah, Timora's Blessing.
Perfect. Yeah, you head towards Timora's Blessing. You get outside and you don't see the ogre guard that is normally guarding the door here.
Oh man, I was ready to put some pants on him.
You get to the entryway and you open up the door and you can see the interior. It's empty. It's dead quiet. And you see the proprietor, Lady Gurnan Copperguts, this stout dwarven woman. She comes running towards the door almost immediately in your direction. Korvac, come in. He's been waiting far too long. He's getting rather upset. Follow me. And she starts like hurriedly making her way across the room.
I will go in my own will. So I think we should go. And I'll start walking after that. But only because I wanted to.
Yeah, you follow her, and she leads you to a back room, and she opens up the door. Now, this is a place that usually the Zentarum will come to do their business. This is where the goods of travelers who use their items within the walls of Timora's Blessing, this is where their goods are stolen and transported to, where the Zentarum will negotiate on price with Lady Copperguts, who has a deal with Timora herself. But she opens up the door for you, and you can see inside there's a small fire lit. You can see that there's a small bar in the back, 2 large, what looks like deep leather seats positioned facing towards the fire pit. And you can see that there is a figure sitting in one. All you can see is his hand holding onto a glass of what you assume is a darker liquor, a scotch or something of the nature. And you hear a voice, do come in, Korvac.
Yeah, of course.
You step into the room, and Lady Copperguts just shuts the door behind you. The man speaks up again. So, Korvac, I hear you and your group are progressing rather well. He takes a sip of his scotch.
Are you surprised?
Come, have a seat. I think you will be.
I walk up to the seat, kind of like rest my arm against it, kind of lean, and I won't sit down.
You walk up to the seat, and as you make your way, the firelight now hitting this character's face, you see Byrne's face as he sits on this chair before you, holding onto his glass of scotch. Have a seat, Korvac.
I don't think I will.
Fair enough. Would you like a drink?
I don't think I will.
It's been a while since I saw you. He kind of motions his glass in your direction, and I gotta say, you're the only one that pegged me for who I really am. Takes a drink of his scotch.
I mean, I didn't know all along, if we're being honest here. I mean, it's like, just, he's a fisherman, he's a wizard. It made perfect sense to be perfect.
I am, I'm far from a wizard.
Let's not talk crazy now. We all know you're a fire wizard.
Your
name gives it away. Burn, fire, fire burns.
Korvac, when I say you pegged me for who I was not talking of the wizard. You see, I am far from the Burn you once met. I'm a very different man. That child you met could not have disposed of Captain Arlene and half her crew the way I did.
That's because he was weak. He probably still is.
Sits back in his chair and, well, his body certainly is, and I'm getting rather uncomfortable inside.
That's pretty weird, I'm not going to lie. Ben, the fire wizard, he is weak. I feel like, if we're being honest, most wizards are pretty weak. They're not necessarily known for their strength. They're not like me. I mean, I'm pretty damn strong. But why are you talking in like this weird, like, you want to get to the point?
As you're talking, he just finishes his drink that he has, and he sets it down on a small table in between the 2 chairs. The point is, Korvac, I'm just checking up on you. I believe it's been since we were inside that cave since I last saw you.
I'm not quite sure what you're talking about.
Perhaps I misremember. Do give Byrne my best, yes? And you watch...
I mean, why don't you just...
You watch as a flash...
Tell yourself.
A intelligence in his eyes leaves, and you see a very scared child sitting in front of you. Someone who is Byrne's age, a 15 or 16-year-old. And you watch as he kind of sits back in his chair and... Where am I? You saved me.
Yeah, that's not true. I don't know what you're talking about, kid.
You watch as he starts struggling to speak, and slowly you see small tendrils of blood start to come out of his mouth as he's talking to you. What's happening to me? And he looks down. You watch as his jaw starts to open and crack, and you watch 4 tendrils fold from inside of his mouth. The back of his skull begins to expand out, and at this point, Byrne is now screaming in horrible pain. You watch as the slow transformation from Byrne into a familiar Illithid takes place in front of you. But you watch as 4 copper bands form on the top of this Illithid's head. Familiar bands, ones that you saw when you encountered an Illithid inside of a cave. As he transforms, he looks at the ground in the chair beneath him now, where pieces of Byrne's body still lie, pieces of scraps of skin, of clothing, spatters of blood, and Korvac, do clean up after me. I cannot wait to meet again. And he snaps his fingers, and you watch as he disappears into a wisp of black smoke.
I will not cling after anybody. I am a captain. I've got people for that. I say in silence.
Yeah, you hear no response now, just sitting in this room with the warm hearth, the ground and the chair coated in blood.
Yeah, I'm not cleaning that. And I'm going to turn around and leave the room pretty nonchalant.
You turn around to the door, kind of creaking open, and Lady Gernon sticks her head in and, you're finished?
You. What do you know about that, man?
Sir, this is a business. She's saying this. She's kind of looking in the room ahead of you that's coated in blood. This is a business.
Right here, look at me.
This is a business I've learned to ask few questions in. I'll clean up. Have a good night. Kind of steps back and leaves the door open for you.
I am a captain here. Why am I treated with such disrespect?
It is not disrespect. You understand who you're dealing with. It's not my business.
I mean, we're dealing with a fire wizard here that's now a little squid.
Well, I hope you stop this evil fire wizard.
Oh, of course I'm going to stop the evil fire wizard. I'm just trying to get some answers.
I don't have those answers for you, sir.
All right, well, you need to clean up that room. I'll get someone to clean up that room because it's kind of a mess.
I'll take care of it.
I'll leave, and I'll keep walking rather pompously with my hat high, my chin up, basically expecting recognition from people that see me, even if it doesn't happen, but I'm going to walk as if people would do that.
Sure. You get about a block down, you see a drunk on the side of the street, and he looks up in your direction. Oh, you're the man that was you defended the city. Thank you so much.
I'll tip my captain's hat. I won't say anything. Just tip the hat in the gesture.
You hear
keep
kind
walking.
of like a jingling pot that he's holding out in your direction.
Tip your hat. Sorry, I don't have any.
Continue on your way. Perfect. I love it. So you make your way back to the ship for a night's rest before heading to the Yawning Portal. Orion. You make your way to the front of the Yawning Portal. You can see the dangling sign depicting the building. Very nicely made sign. It's very obvious that this is a building of pretty fantastic wealth. A row of windows reveals a dimly lit room at the moment where you can see two figures inside. They seem borderline hostile towards each other, argumentative but not physical, but in each other's faces. Lining the walls, you can see the various stuffed heads and treasures that you love coming here to see. You see coffins that have been pulled out of this place, whether vampirical or more like Egyptian-styled coffins. You see knives along the walls, swords, heads of demons you don't recognize, of goblins, rumored hobgoblin leaders, all stuffed across the walls. And this is what you strive for. But you get to the door, you try the handle, and it's locked, and you notice the figures kind of turn in your direction. You can see the familiar beard of Durnan, the large mutton-chopped man, and he kind of makes his way towards the door and cracks it open. Ryan, what are you doing here this time of night?
Durnan, my man, I have something for you.
Well, what is it? Well, I'm in the middle of something.
Well, my father wanted me to give you this note, but he said that you have to give me a beer for me to give it to you.
Yeah, as I've said every time you've told me that, can't serve people quite your age. I do apologize.
Here you go.
He reaches out and grabs the note. Is this all?
Yeah. He wanted me to stay here while you read it out loud.
All right. He opens up the note and he pulls it out, and you watch as kind of what starts off as an expression of anger slowly transitions into one of acceptance, and he rolls the note down. Come inside, Orion. He opens up the door for you to come inside.
Sure.
You see inside the building, you see Lady Laryl Silverhand, someone you've seen around town, but never this face-to-face. You know her to be essentially the ruler of Waterdeep. The Open Lord Lady, she's one member of the Lord's Alliance that runs the main cities along the Sword Coast. And she has more wealth and more political power than anyone else you've heard of. But you see her standing inside. She looks pretty frustrated, but kind of seeing you come in, she puts on a face and, hello.
I'll have one, please. I'm just kidding. I know who you are.
Pleasure. Looking around the room, you can see a number of tables and benches all positioned in a way that they can look towards a large well in the center of this room. This well is roughly 40 feet in diameter. You can see that along the edges of it are a number of broken stones, claw marks that scrape up the sides from creatures that are fabled to have tried to claw their way out of here. you yourself have probably written your own made-up stories about those creatures and have heard hundreds of others just like them.
Of course.
But yeah, you go inside, you sit yourself down. Right now, it's late. It is very late at night, probably pushing 2 or 3 in the morning.
Okay.
Durnan comes over to you, and he kind of gets down. What'd your father tell you, Ryan?
Well, he told me that my adventure starts tonight. He knows that I'm ready. I've told him every day for the past many days, and he finally said I'm ready. So I'm here, and I'm ready. I'm ready.
Lady Laryl speaks up, and a journey. Well, what sort of journey are you talking about? What was your name? I didn't catch it.
I'm Orion Goodbarrel.
Pleasure to meet you. She reaches out a hand in your direction. You can see like a plated gauntlet, like she's dressed for battle at the moment, which isn't a big surprise. The city was just assaulted this morning by pirates, and you definitely know about that. But she reaches out a hand in your direction, and I'm Lady Laryl Silverhand.
I'll shake your hand.
You shake her hand. You feel a definite strength behind her hand, beyond what you expected. And what sort of journey are you after?
One with tales and riches and monsters and death and heroes and damsels and villains and wells and flying and...
Durnan stops you when you say wells, and wells, yeah, that is where your journey's going to begin, Orion. He looks up at Lady Laryl, and Leo's cashed in his favor. And you see a kind of look go across her face of surprise. Oh, all right. It's a pleasure to meet you, Orion.
Well, I should hope so. When are I going to go down the well?
Well, I believe there are some others coming that we're going to send you with.
Okay.
You seem able. You seem prepared.
If they need my help, I'm happy to help them. That's my adventure.
What are you hoping to find on this journey, Orion?
A nice tale to tell my father when I come back.
She looks at Durnan, and Durnan responds, well, I'm sure you'll find a tale. Best to bed up. I think most are coming tomorrow.
Okay, I'm just going to have one drink, and then I'll get right to bed.
Does your mother know this?
Yeah, of course.
Good. I'm glad Leo would at least tell her what's going on. That makes me feel more comfortable.
Yeah, you don't hide anything from her.
He makes his way over to the bar, and you see him pour 2.5 drinks. He hands one to Lady Laryl, and well, Orion, he hands you a mug.
I'll take it.
You take it, and to your adventure.
Oh, cheers him.
He clinks it, and Lady Laryl as well, and they both down their drinks.
I take a drink, and
It is like fermented. Yeah, it is. What's that? No, what's the like Viking beer? Yeah, it is definitely mead.
oh, it's so good. I'll finish it in my room.
Laryl and Durnan kind of give a chuckle and take a bench. They point to one of the benches nearby, and we're camping for the night.
All right, okay.
So you make your way through the city, Talgroth. It's early morning hours, probably 6 or 7 in the morning. The sun's just rising up. The city's just starting to bustle. Exactly when you plan to arrive, when there's very few people on the street and you can just get straight to point B. But you get to the front of the Yawning Portal. You see the obvious sign hanging down depicting the name, the large windows showing off its various wares, and you get to the door.
As Talgroth was walking through, his pace is unusually quick for a dwarf. He definitely marches with purpose, sort of like a dog trying to sniff something out.
That is an awesome comparison. Nice.
He grabs the handle of his battle axe that's on a ring in his belt, and with practice ease, shuffles it forward into the door to basically bust it open, and then grabs the handle back before it flies out.
Make an attack roll.
That's 18.
18. Your hammer bashes into the door that you expected to be open, but it's locked. And you see a few figures on the inside kind of jut up off of the benches that they're sleeping in.
I'm ready.
As Talgroth's battle axe glances off the door very underwhelmingly.
Yeah, well, underneath the handle, you do splinter a little bit of the wood, for sure.
Still very underwhelmingly.
Yeah.
He's just going to yell, "Oi!"
And a mutton chop man kind of opens the door, eyes glazed over. What? Why are you...
I've been looking for Durnan.
That's me.
You see this symbol? And I hold up the symbol of the Silver Flame Clan.
I see everyone's calling in favors, and he opens up the door. Come in. What was it? Talgroth. Did you say your name already?
No, I didn't. Are you some kind of sorcerer?
No. What was your name?
Well, you better not be.
Cool.
My name's Telegraph.
Nice to meet you, Talgroff. Durnan, come in, please.
Thank you. Telegraph will brush past Durnan like he knows where he's going, and then once he sees Lady Laro, he's going to stop completely in his tracks. My lady.
Pleasure. She kind of sits up from her sleeping position on this bench and makes her way in your direction. And
My name's Telegraph from the Silver Flame clan, not far from here.
pleasure to meet you, Talgroff. She reaches out a hand for a shake.
Telegraph bows and takes it.
She reaches past your hand and grabs onto your forearm for a traditional dwarven handshake with you. And you can feel a strength in her hand as she grabs onto your forearm. It's a pleasure, Talgroff. Please, stand.
Telegraph will stand up, and if I'm close to Durnan, I'll kind of whisper over to him, I like a lady with a little grip.
Yeah. Well, what favor is the Silver Flame calling in today?
I'm actually a paladin, taking an oath. You understand me?
I do.
I'm looking for a certain kind of shield. Very important.
Okay.
And I believe that it's in this well here.
Oh, you just want entry to the well? That's it? Do you need companions? Do you need gear?
If you got anyone else that can help me not die,
If you don't mind hanging around for about an hour or so, I got 2 more coming.
will the lady be joining us?
Unfortunately, I need to tend to business in the city. My adventuring days, especially in that hole, are behind me.
Yes, well, I'd like to say the same thing. Hopefully this being my last stop. But all I know is that Viega's going down there, probably with the shield. That's all I'm here for. It's my whole thing.
Josh is like, huh?
What was that? A couple words I didn't quite catch it there.
I love it. I love it.
What was the character who you say went down?
Vilega, she's a dragonborn sorceress. She's usually hanging out with snake people and stuff.
Lady Lara looks at Durnan and they give a kind of a matching confused glance at each other, and I can't say I've heard of this woman. How long ago did you say she came?
Could have been a long time ago.
All
Maybe
right.
up to a couple 100 years.
Yes, well, that explains it then. Well, this tavern hasn't been here for quite that long. I hope you find what you're looking for. We're more than happy to help, and we do have a few people coming who they actually just helped fend off a pirate incursion on the city.
I'm like wide-eyed
Yeah.
listening into this conversation.
And I believe this one here, our young Orion, is going with to prove himself.
Hi,
Hi there, just a wee lad. What's your name?
I'm Orion.
Oh, Ryan. Very nice to meet you.
You too, friend.
Well, we aren't friends yet.
Oh, that's kind of rude.
I don't mean to be rude, it's just kind of a one-track mind.
Well, I'll keep my eyes peeled for a shield when I'm down there. I know that,
You gotta look into stuff.
yeah.
All right.
Looking at stuff, taking stuff.
I guess you'll be my eyes down there.
This is gonna be so much fun. Have you tried the mead?
No, I don't drink mead. Only scrumple.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, we've got some scrumple on tap.
Just need to have a glass to get me going. You don't want to know after 3.
It's the least I can do. Durnan makes his way to the bar in the back, and he goes over to a smaller keg. As he pulls it open, you watch as a thicker liquid pours out into a glass. On the house.
Thank you. And I raise the glass up to Lady Laurel. To the defense leader city, and to the Silver Flame clans restoring their honor.
You go to shoot it back, and you throw your glass up in the air, and it slowly like syrupy drips down the glass, and you're like kind of sticking your tongue up into the glass to try and get a little bit. And
I take a sip of my mead from the night before that I didn't finish it all.
yeah, now it's all hot, and you've taken your 3rd sip of this drink.
Exactly.
By the end of this campaign, he's going to finish that drink.
Lady Lara looks at you, Orion, and I must say you remind me of when I first met your father. At about this point, you hear the sound of Maven. Are you and Korvac coming together? Are you coming separate? Sure. You guys woke up on your ship. Are there any directions you want to give Carlos or to Thier?
I don't know who Carlos is. It's me. Carlos, you got to learn your name, man. Maybe I got some business to do. So keep everything in tip-top shape.
Do you know for how long?
I will tell you when I come back.
Okay. Perfect.
I will stand at the gangplank and just wait for Maven as he walks up.
Maven approaches with a greatsword on his back. You see a large black sheath that this thing fits into. And this greatsword, think like medieval Zweihander. It is enormous.
Like Berserk.
Like this is bordering on like an oversized weapon.
Like Monster Hunter greatsword.
Not quite that big.
Oh, I see you. I'm a trendsetter, hey? And I'll kind of like flourish my sword that's a little more
Smaller.
It's not smaller.
It's pretty small.
It's not smaller. You know what?
We use what we can lift, right?
I can lift it.
Right.
Let's just go.
After you, Captain.
I'll continue walking down the street as pompous as I can, chin held high, waiting for someone to comment on me.
Perfect. Making your way in the direction of the Yawning Portal, you both get recognizable looks. But you guys make your way to the Yawning Portal, the exterior of the building, and knock or enter, interrupting the current conversation.
I just enter. I'm not knocking. I'm just walking right through.
Yeah, you walk inside and you see Lady Laryl, Durnan, and two faces you don't recognize. If everybody wants to describe what they look like.
So when you walk in and look at the tiny 3-foot tall halfling, he has sandy blonde hair with like old hand-me-down leathers over like a ruffled tunic. And then he has a young, soft face and like a childish grin just like always permanently on his face. And then you see a lute kind of slumped around hanging on his back.
Talgroff is a tall for his race dwarf, and he tries to remind people of that sometimes. He's got basic chainmail on. It's not particularly elaborate. The seal of the Silver Flame clan hanging from his neck is definitely a lot nicer looking. He also has a well-decorated battle axe. Doesn't look particularly sharper than any battle axe you come across, but it's definitely a lot nicer looking than the average one.
Well maintained.
Yeah, exactly. He's got like somewhat of a cloak attached to his armor and a wide gray beard with a little bit of black hair still left in there. Very, like, almost too wide for his face.
I'm instantly picturing Deep Rock Galactic. Rockin' Stone. For Carl.
Korvac.
Sorry, that's my favorite shot in that game. So you see what resembles a goblin, but something about it's just a little bit off. It's not like any goblin that you would have seen. He is not quite 5 foot, maybe just shy of 5 foot. He's got kind of a warm, brownish yellow tinted skin. He's got like a dreaded, like Viking style type kind of mohawk that goes all the way down his back that is definitely now disheveled and worn at this point after so long. You see like the sides of his heads were shaved but has since grown in, and he hasn't had a chance to maintain it. He's wearing a nice duster-style jacket that's kind of long with a dirty orange kind of scarf around his neck that's kind of loose, and a giant sword that is almost as big as him on his back. The most noticeable part of him is his like bluish-purple eyes that kind of glow when the lights hit him. Similar to cat eyes, but not quite. But he's not wearing any kind of armor between the glowing eyes and sword that is almost the same size as him. He doesn't look bulky, but he's definitely like toned for sure. But he definitely looks like he probably shouldn't be holding that sword on his back. He's the strongest one here, and he'll probably let you know that at some point.
Awesome. Maven.
First of all, as a dwarf, he's 5 feet tall and pretty damn wide. And he's wearing a almost onesie, like skin tight black suit that goes all the way up to his neck. His hairline kind of goes, it's a little higher up, so he has almost like a 5 head. And his hair kind of comes outward to the sides. And then his beard is black, hair is black, piercing blue eyes. But you notice he has like huge goggles on that he's not wearing right now, but they're on the top of his head. With a giant M put onto his onesie, a huge M that's like silver. And then a giant greatsword as well.
And you can also see a few small singes in his beard, a few dimly glowing embers. But Maven and Korvac, you walk into the Yawning Portal and you see Durnan and Lady Laryl standing next to these two figures that you haven't met before. Durnan, he says, thanks for coming. Lady Laryl summoned you. I guess I'll pass it off to her at this point. He motions to her and thank you. We appreciate your help with the attack on the city. This is Tallgroff and Orion. Tallgroff and Orion, this is Korvac and Maven.
You've probably heard of me, and I kind of like tip my captain's hat down, very confident.
Whoa, a pirate!
I am not a pirate.
He's no pirate. I know.
We kill pirates.
These two helped defend the city from pirates yesterday, and we have a bit of a situation, which is why we've summoned you here. Durnan, would you mind fetching him?
I want to kind of like circle them and like look them up and down with very clear judgment. This one doesn't even know how to hold a mug. I'll kind of like go out of my way to tilt your chin up. Skin's quite smooth. You don't even know how to
You
hold.
feel an invisible tug from the back of your hair away from me.
Easy on me, hair.
You look behind and you don't see anybody behind you.
Finally, another dwarf. No more whining about doing hard things. And I'll just extend my hand to him.
Tallgroff will say in Dwarvish, "Hail, brother."
And then I'll
Nice.
look at O'Brien and be like, Darnan, is there like an age requirement for the well?
You were about to say, is there a height requirement?
You must be this tall. And like half the races in D&D are out.
Wow.
No, but as you call out for Durnan, you hear muffled sounds of like someone struggling. And you see Durnan kicking open a door kind of with his right foot as he's pulling a chair that you can see a man is tied to. You can see a deep charcoal skin drow tied to this chair. It's obvious he's been beaten pretty bloody and he has a gag tied into his mouth as well. This one crawled out of the well yesterday. Has some things he'd like to share. Isn't that right? And he kind of smacks this drow in the head. And Ryan, sure you're up for it?
Yeah, you sure you're up for this?
You see this very bloody drow sitting there, and as he makes eye contact with you, you can see like just this deep red glow in the back of this creature's eyes, just pure evil looking back at you as he's just staring into you. And
Maven hasn't left eye contact with you since you said the age requirement thing. And then he's just going to look at you as he brings him out and he's going to be like, let's see what you got.
All minor illusion, the same red glow behind my eyes.
ooh, make it an intimidation check. Make it with advantage. He definitely didn't expect it from you.
25.
I rolled a 1.
He's like,
You watch as this drow, as that red flashes behind your eyes, he visibly like kind of slouches in his chair, and Maven watching him, you watch this exchange happen as he kind of like slouches down to his chair and immediately breaks eye contact with Orion and starts looking around the room at other people. This drow, you can see the long braided hair, multiple braids that run down the back and come down to a large thick band at the back of his head. Very intelligent eyes as he's gazing at each of you. And Lady Laryl speaks up at this point, and he climbed out of the well and says he has information for the captain.
You say the captain, huh? I'll say to make sure everyone hears me.
Well, I'm the captain of this group. This is my adventure.
The drow with the gag in his mouth, he looks straight at you, Korvac, and you hear him muffledly say like,
I don't know what that means, but you say the captain, which is clearly me as I look at Orion and like, clearly me.
You can speak to him.
The
That's
captain.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
You know what?
You can.
I'm going to wait. You
No,
know what? I think
please.
I'm going to speak to
Yeah,
him, but
go ahead.
only because I wanted to speak to him.
Yeah, please do.
Durnan goes behind the drow and he undoes the gag that's tied onto his head right now. Kind of smiles at you and, Korvac,
Nothing funny now.
well, I was sent to talk to you. He looks around the room at everybody else standing here. I believe it was only you were my orders.
They're not listening. They're actually deaf.
You hear a voice in your mind. Perhaps we could talk here. Burn sends his regards from deeper.
Ben's dead.
Yes, I suppose he is.
I'll turn around to face him, and I'll get right up in his face. Ben's dead.
He wishes you to seek out Zelix 4. He made it very clear it's not what he wants. It's something you do.
Well, I'm pretty sure he can't really want anything because he's dead.
You say that, and yet here we are.
Do you want to see an impression of Ben? I'm going to just grab a dagger and slice one of the fingers off.
Oh, okay.
Oh, man.
He kind of reels back in pain, just like yelling, Orion, you're watching all of this happen.
I was expecting an impression.
Welcome to your first adventure.
As he goes to rear back, after a couple seconds of him really feeling it, I'm going to take the finger and I'm going to put it in his mouth to shut him up.
As you go to do that, you watch as his body begins to transform. As his limbs begin to extend and twist, you can hear the bones breaking in his body before he just leans back in his chair, a completely limp skeleton. You can see all of his limbs extended, his neck hanging back loosely as all of his bones have been separated. He hangs his head back, unmoving.
One down, several thousand to go.
I'm going to take the finger back. I'm going to put it in my pocket.
Telegraph's gonna look at the scene. Ought to like to talk to them before you... What did you do there?
Just an impression.
What kind of impression is that? A dead person?
Lady Lara and Durnan kind of stand back, kind of shocked at what's just happened, and Durnan speaks up. What just happened?
It seems like we've got to expedite this process. Can we go down your fancy well now?
Now? Do you need to prepare anything else? Are you ready?
I need to restuff my pack.
Restuff with what?
My things, my
Diapers?
blanket.
You see the table that Orion was clearly sleeping on has like a nicely laid out blanket that he's since made since getting up, and like a pillow.
It's a nice
I
and
look
neat.
at Durnan and Lady Laurel. What is this?
As Orion's packing his thing, Durnan and Laurel, they get kind of close to you, Korvac, and he is not your responsibility.
That is all I needed to hear. You know what? Welcome aboard, Orion.
Is he with you?
The name's Tolgraf. I think I might have mentioned before.
My name is Korvac.
Before we become friends and all, you have to know something about me.
Good to meet you, Korvac. It was
I'm a
nice. You
paladin.
got real strong here.
I've taken an oath.
Oh, right. Which oath would that be?
I'm looking for the shield of Farangal, for the Silver Flame clan. And the thing is I'm going down there to look for the shield. That's the only reason I'm going down there. Now, if I'm going and you're coming with me, we all got to share that goal, at least a bit. Otherwise, we can't be going together.
Well, Telegraph, I see no reason why we can't look for your shield while we're down there.
And I'll be sure to help everyone along, especially the lad here.
I think you guys are going to need my help more than I'll need yours.
Let's see about
This
that.
guy's got some jokes. He's fun.
You begin
You know
hearing
what,
a
you-
mechanical clunking as Durnan is winding a crank near the top of the well, and you see the rope in the center of the well, blood-stained and worn, slowly making its way up and spiraling up into the spool for it. Dunk, 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 as each clank of the gears clack together. And as this essentially well bucket comes into view, Durnan looks up and, who's first?
I'll go first.
All right, Maven. Durnan, with the help of Durnan, you guys both get this bucket pulled to the side of this well, and you climb inside and kind of swing out over this 40-foot diameter space that just goes straight down as far as you can see into blackness. Good luck, Maven. I mean that.
I don't need it.
The mechanism slowly starts pulling you down into the well, lowering you deeper and deeper into the darkness until from the top, Orion, Talgroff, and Korvac, Maven dips out of view of what light is in the well and descends into the darkness. A few minutes go by.
It's horrible down here. It's so dark. I can't see.
But a few minutes go by and Durnan starts reeling the well back up. Who's next?
I'll go next.
Ryan, if you ever need to come out, just find the entrance, yeah?
Can you do me a favor, Durnan?
Of course.
Will you tell my family I love them?
Of course, yeah. But you're lowered down to the darkness. A few minutes later, Durnan cranks the well back up.
Before Telegraph goes down, he's going to suddenly remember. Do you have anything that maybe I could take down with me, like some better armor or...
He reaches up to one of the daggers that's on the wall, and he pulls it off the wall and brings it in your direction. This looks like a nice dagger. He holds it out to you. Appears to be like a deep greenish color with a number of stones on the hilt.
Thanks, I guess. Good fortune to you.
Gives you a thumbs up.
He'll still clamber in the bucket.
Sure, yeah, and Durnan starts to lower you down. A few minutes go by. Korvac, you're the last remaining up in this room with the drow body still strapped to the chair.
Well, I guess it's my time to descend. I would like everyone to know, you know what, I'm not really good at speeches, and I'm going to climb inside the bucket. My crew awaits, well, that one, not my ship. Lovely ship. I'm just going to keep rambling on as I'm lowering.
As you're like climbing into the well bucket, you're still just like talking about your ship, talking about everything that's going on.
It's a lovely place you got here. I definitely thought your hand would be a lot more silver than what it was.
As you descend into the well, that's where we'll call this prologue session, which turned out way longer than I expected.
Hey guys, thanks for checking out this special Session 0 episode as we begin to kick off our new campaign. Don't forget to like, share, rate, review, subscribe, or follow us to keep up to date with the latest episodes and for upcoming bonus content. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube at The Lazy BardCast, as well as on our brand new Patreon. Tune in next time as our heroes begin their adventure in the dungeon of the Wacky Wizard, here on The Lazy BardCast.